You see, there comes a time in life when silence becomes your best friend, when isolation stops feeling like loneliness and starts feeling like power. Most people fear being alone because they've never met the strongest version of themselves yet. But Bruce Lee understood something deep. You cannot master your mind in the noise of the crowd. You have to go through that phase where you outgrow everything, friends, habits, distractions, until your energy becomes so strong it starts speaking before you do. Today, I'll tell you 7 powerful lessons from Bruce Lee that teach you why you must stay alone until you level up, and how solitude turns you into someone no one can ignore. Let's begin. 1. Silence builds the warrior within. When you isolate yourself, the world may see it as loneliness, but I see it as training. The strongest version of you will never be born in comfort. It's forged in silence, in the quiet hours when no one is clapping for you, when no one believes in you but yourself. That's where your true development begins. Every great fighter, every great thinker, every powerful human being you admire, each of them spent time in solitude, sharpening their mind before they ever conquered the world. When you are constantly surrounded by people, opinions, and noise, your mind becomes scattered. You start to think what others think, desire what others desire, and follow paths that were never meant for you. But when you sit in solitude, the noise fades away, and your inner voice, the one you've been ignoring for so long, starts to speak again. At first, that voice might be uncomfortable, even painful, because it forces you to confront truths about yourself that you've been avoiding. But this confrontation is not your enemy, it's your awakening. In solitude, your thoughts stop running in every direction. You begin to notice your patterns, your fears, your insecurities, your habits. You see clearly how often you've distracted yourself just to avoid discomfort. And it's in that awareness that real strength is born. You realize the greatest fight was never against the world. It was against the weakness inside you, against the part of you that settles for less, that gives up too early, that chooses pleasure over progress. When you learn to face that side of yourself, you become powerful beyond measure. You understand that discipline is not about punishing yourself, it's about freeing yourself from the control of your impulses. You begin to appreciate silence because it becomes your dojo, your training ground, your sacred space for mental evolution. In the silence, you learn that comfort has been your biggest enemy all along. Comfort kept you soft. It made you believe that peace means avoiding struggle. But peace, my friend, is not found in avoiding struggle. It's found in mastering it. When you use your alone time to strengthen your focus, you stop chasing validation and start chasing excellence. You learn to direct your energy toward your goals instead of wasting it on distractions. And soon, something incredible happens. Your silence begins to speak louder than words. Your presence starts to carry strength. Your eyes reflect discipline. Your energy changes. You no longer need to prove your worth because you've already earned it through the quiet hours of unseen work. Remember this: silence doesn't make you weak. It builds you. Solitude doesn't isolate you. It refines you. When the world grows loud and everyone is trying to be seen and heard, be the one who retreats to sharpen his sword in the shadows. Because when you return, you won't just speak, you'll resonate. And that's how the warrior within you is born. 2. Your vibe becomes strong when you protect it. Energy is invisible, but it shapes everything about you: your focus, your confidence, your presence. When your energy is scattered, your life feels chaotic. When your energy is centered, your life feels clear and powerful. That's why protecting your vibe is not optional. It's necessary. The people you spend time with, the conversations you entertain, the habits you keep, they all affect the energy you carry. I once said, "I'm not in this world to live up to your expectations, and you're not in this world to live up to mine." This truth is simple, yet powerful. When you live to please others, you drain your own spirit. Every time you say yes when you really mean no, every time you seek validation from people who don't understand your path, you give away a piece of your power. Protecting your energy doesn't mean isolating yourself out of hate. It means valuing yourself enough to set boundaries. When you're always surrounded by others, your energy starts to adapt to theirs. You start to copy their moods, their beliefs, their limitations. Without realizing it, you begin to reflect their frequency instead of creating your own. But when you step back and spend time alone, you begin to tune into your own rhythm again. You rediscover your natural flow, the calm, steady power that was always inside you, but was buried under noise and comparison. In solitude, your energy becomes pure. You stop trying to impress and start trying to improve. You stop worrying about how others see you and focus on how you see yourself. Slowly, you start feeling a different kind of power, the kind that doesn't shout but radiates quietly. That's what a strong vibe is. Silent confidence, unshakable calm, and clarity that others can feel without you having to explain it. Protecting your energy also means becoming selective. You start recognizing that not everyone deserves access to you. Some people feed your spirit and others drain it. Learn the difference. The moment you stop entertaining low-energy environments, gossip, and negativity, your entire life starts to change. You no longer attract chaos because you no longer live in it. You become so grounded in your peace that other people feel calmer just being around you. And here's the truth. People will notice your vibe before they notice your words. They will sense your self-respect, your discipline, your focus. You don't need to announce your growth. Your energy will do it for you. That's why you must protect it like a sacred flame. Because once your energy is clean and powerful, it becomes magnetic. It starts pulling the right people, the right opportunities, and the right moments into your life, without you chasing them. So protect your vibe. Don't explain it, don't justify it, and don't lower it. Your energy is your signature. When it's strong, the world recognizes it, even in silence. 3. Loneliness is the test before transformation. Every person who has ever grown into greatness has walked through the valley of loneliness. It's the phase no one talks about, the silent storm that shapes you in ways comfort never could. People often misunderstand loneliness. They see it as emptiness, as a sign that something is wrong. But loneliness is not a curse. It's a classroom. It's where life sends you when it's time for your transformation. Before a seed becomes a tree, it's buried deep underground where no one can see it. Before a sword becomes sharp, it's beaten and burned by fire. The same happens to you. Before your new self can rise, your old self must die, and the death is lonely. You will lose people, habits, distractions, even parts of your identity that once defined you. It feels like everything is falling apart, but in truth, it's falling into place. The universe removes what no longer belongs in your next chapter. When you find yourself sitting alone, with no one to talk to, no one to validate you, that's when you finally hear your own voice. It's faint at first, like a whisper you forgot existed. But as the noise of the world fades, that whisper becomes clearer. It becomes your guidance. Loneliness forces you to face yourself. It takes away the external noise so you can confront your internal chaos. It teaches you to rely on something far deeper than people, your own strength, your own awareness, your own purpose. You see, transformation never happens in front of a crowd. Growth is always quiet. The cocoon doesn't make noise when the caterpillar becomes a butterfly. The seed doesn't shout when it's breaking through the soil. Likewise, your evolution won't be loud or obvious. It will happen in silence, behind closed doors, when no one is watching. You'll cry, you'll doubt, you'll question everything, but that's the process of rebirth. When life isolates you, it's not rejection, it's redirection. It's not punishment, it's preparation. The people who walked away, they were never meant to stay for your next level. The pain you feel right now? It's the pressure that builds diamonds. Loneliness is the test that separates those who talk about growth from those who actually grow. Many people can smile in a crowd, but few can find peace in solitude. During this stage, you begin to realize something powerful. You were never truly lonely. You were being guided. The universe was clearing your path, stripping away attachments, and placing you in the perfect environment to evolve. Every time you sit in silence, every time you feel that ache of being alone, remember, something inside you is rearranging itself. Your priorities shift. Your vision becomes sharper. Your self-respect grows stronger. Loneliness is not the end of the story. It's the chapter before your breakthrough. Without it, you would never discover who you really are when the world stops clapping. It's where you stop depending on external love and start building inner peace. It's where you stop chasing approval and start living by principle. It's where your heart learns to stand on its own. So when you find yourself alone, don't beg to escape it. Embrace it. Let the silence rebuild you. Because that emptiness you feel is not a void, it's space being made for your new life. The universe is not taking things away from you, it's clearing the ground so you can grow deeper roots. And one day, when you emerge from that lonely season, you'll look back and realize it was never loneliness. It was sacred isolation. It was life preparing you for your next level, shaping you into someone so focused, so strong, that you'll never have to chase anything again. Remember this truth: no one evolves surrounded by noise. Loneliness is not the darkness. It's the dawn before your light breaks through. Stay patient, stay grounded, and trust the process. Your solitude is your transformation. 4. Master your emotions when no one is watching. Most people think strength is about muscles, speed, or power. But the truth is, real strength is invisible. It's emotional control. It's the ability to remain centered while the world around you collapses. When you are alone, without anyone to impress or pretend for, your emotions become raw and honest. That's when the real training begins. Because solitude reveals what noise hides: your own mind. Anyone can look calm when others are watching. Anyone can fake confidence in front of a crowd. But what happens when you're by yourself and your thoughts start shouting? What happens when your fears creep in, when your regrets replay, when your anger surfaces with no one to blame? That's the moment that separates a master from a slave of emotion. The one who can sit with his emotions without being ruled by them. That's the one who truly understands himself. I spent years studying not just martial arts, but the art of stillness. The body follows the mind. If your mind is disturbed, your body will follow that chaos. That is why I practiced calmness like I practiced punches, repeatedly, deliberately, endlessly. Because when your emotions are under your command, nothing outside of you can control you anymore. To master your emotions, you must first allow yourself to feel them. Don't run from them. Don't bury them under distractions or false positivity. When anger arises, observe it. Ask it, why are you here? When sadness visits, don't suppress it. Sit with it, breathe through it, and let it teach you. Every emotion is a messenger. It is trying to show you something about yourself. An attachment you haven't released, a wound you haven't healed, a truth you haven't faced. When you're alone, you have the perfect space for this work. There are no distractions, no masks, no performances. It's just you and your truth. This is where you learn the difference between reacting and responding. A reaction is automatic. It comes from habit, from fear, from ego. A response is conscious. It comes from awareness, from control, from strength. When you master this, your whole energy changes. You no longer fight every situation with emotion. You flow through it with understanding. Many people believe that controlling emotions means suppressing them. That's wrong. Suppression is weakness because it's fear wearing the mask of control. Real control comes from understanding. It's not about pretending you don't feel, it's about choosing what deserves your energy. When you learn to sit still in the middle of emotional storms, your inner world becomes peaceful and your outer world begins to reflect that peace. There was a time when I used to get angry easily. I would react quickly, wanting to win every argument, every moment. But then I realized each time I reacted, I was losing control of myself. I was letting others dictate my state of mind. And how can a warrior master the battlefield if he cannot master his own heart? So I learned to pause, to breathe, to respond, not react. That pause, that silence, is your greatest weapon. It turns emotion into awareness and awareness into power. You must understand, emotions are energy. If you don't control where that energy goes, it will control you. Anger can destroy you, or it can fuel your purpose. Fear can paralyze you, or sharpen your awareness. Sadness can break you, or teach you compassion. You decide what each feeling becomes. That's emotional mastery, not the absence of feeling, but the direction of it. When no one is watching, that's your true test. The moments when you're alone with your anger, when the world feels unfair, when life doesn't go your way, those are the moments to practice stillness. Don't let your emotions dictate your actions. Let awareness guide them. That's how you build an inner calm so deep that nothing can disturb it. When you master your emotions, you stop being reactive and start being intentional. You stop living like a puppet pulled by circumstance and start living like a creator shaping your destiny. People will notice your calm and mistake it for indifference. But it's not indifference. It's power. It's the ability to stand in chaos and remain at peace. Remember this: emotional mastery is the highest form of strength. A person who cannot control their anger, their sadness, or their desire is like a warrior who drops his weapon in battle. But a person who can feel everything and still choose peace, that person is undefeatable. So when you're alone, use that time to train your inner world. Sit with your thoughts, your emotions, your fears, and learn to move through them like a river flows around rocks, smoothly, silently, and without losing its direction. That's what it means to be like water, flexible, calm, unstoppable. In solitude, you are both the student and the master. Each emotion that arises is your teacher. Each silence you hold is your discipline. And when you learn to move through life this way, with awareness, grace, and balance, you'll discover the greatest victory of all, mastery over yourself. That is where true power begins. Not in the muscles, not in the fight, but in the mind that controls both. 5. Solitude reveals who truly deserves you. When you finally decide to walk alone for a while, you start to see the world and people with different eyes. You stop moving from one distraction to another, and for the first time, you begin to notice who was walking beside you out of love and who was simply there out of convenience. Solitude is a mirror. It reflects truth with brutal honesty. And though that truth may sting at first, it is one of the most freeing awakenings you'll ever experience. When you're constantly surrounded by noise, flattery, or attention, you can't see clearly who's real and who's not. Everyone looks the same when your eyes are blurred by comfort. But when silence surrounds you, masks start to fall. You begin to recognize who genuinely values you and who only values what they can take from you. The people who disappear when you stop giving them attention are the ones who are feeding off your energy, not your essence. Solitude strips these illusions away, and in their absence you find clarity. In solitude, you learn something powerful. Not everyone deserves access to your spirit. Some people deserve your time, but not your trust. Some deserve your company, but not your energy. And some deserve nothing more than distance. It's not arrogance, it's self-respect. You begin to understand that peace is more important than popularity, and alignment is worth more than attachment. When you start growing, the universe begins to separate you from what no longer matches your vibration. This can be painful. You'll lose friends, relationships, and habits that once felt like home. You'll wonder why certain people suddenly fall silent, why certain doors close without explanation. But the truth is, they're not rejecting you, they're reacting to your growth. Your energy no longer feeds their comfort, and your silence no longer entertains their chaos. This is why solitude is sacred. It allows you to observe without reacting, to feel without forcing, and to understand without judgment. You start seeing patterns. You notice who supports you only when it's easy, and who stays when life gets hard. You see who respects your boundaries, and who gets angry when they can no longer cross them. You begin to realize that love without respect is just attachment, and attachment is not love. Bruce Lee lived by the principle of flow. Empty your mind, be formless, shapeless, like water, he said. Water doesn't cling, it doesn't force, it flows where it's meant to go. That's how you must live when solitude reveals the truth. When something or someone no longer flows with you, don't hold on, let it go. Because the moment you stop clinging to what drains you, your spirit becomes light again. And something magical happens when you stop chasing. You start attracting. The right people begin to appear, not because you looked for them, but because your energy became ready for them. They recognize your vibe without words. They feel your peace and match it. These people will not compete with your growth. They will complement it. They will not fear your solitude. They will respect it. They will not drain your energy. They will add to it. Understand this. When you are alone, you are recalibrating your frequency. You are teaching the world how to treat you by how you treat yourself. Every moment of peace you choose over drama sends a message to the universe about what you will no longer tolerate. Every time you walk away from what doesn't honor your soul, you step closer to what will. There is deep power in realizing that you don't need to be surrounded to feel complete. You begin to enjoy your own company, to trust your own voice, to follow your own intuition. You find joy in your own rhythm, laughter in your own silence, and purpose in your own path. That's when the need for validation fades away. You no longer crave recognition because you've already recognized yourself. The ones who truly deserve you will never fear your solitude. They will not rush your healing or demand your attention. They will understand that your silence is sacred, that your alone time is your training ground. And when they join you, it will not be to fill your emptiness, but to share your fullness. So, if you find yourself alone right now, don't see it as abandonment. See it as purification. The universe is removing people who were attached to your old self, so your new self can breathe freely. Solitude is not the punishment for your growth. It's the reward. It's the proof that you no longer need noise to feel alive. When you return from that season of solitude, you won't crave attention. You'll carry presence. You won't beg for love. You'll attract respect. You won't chase anyone. You'll stand so firmly in your peace that only those who vibrate on your level will stay. Because that's what solitude does. It filters your life. It burns away the temporary and leaves you with the timeless. It teaches you that real connections don't demand. They align. It reminds you that the greatest companionship you'll ever have begins with the one you build within yourself. So walk alone, not in bitterness, but in strength. Protect your energy like it's sacred, because it is. And when you finally meet the ones who truly deserve you, you'll know it, not by their words, but by the peace that follows their presence. 6. The strongest vibe is built in private. People often admire success, confidence, and strength, but they rarely understand what it costs. They see the results, the glory, the finished version of you, but they never see the long, quiet years of struggle that built it. Everyone wants the glow, but few are willing to go through the darkness that creates it. What most people don't realize is that the strongest energy, the kind that cannot be faked or copied, is built in private. away from validation, away from attention, and away from noise. When you are alone, you are forced to face your truth. There are no distractions, no applause, no comfort to hide behind. That's where the transformation happens. Every day you wake up and work on yourself in silence. Every time you choose focus over entertainment, every time you keep your goals private and let your actions speak, you are building a foundation that no one can shake. This is how real power grows. Quietly, patiently, persistently. Bruce Lee once said, "Long-term consistency beats short-term intensity." The world glorifies quick results, but mastery is slow. It's not about doing something amazing once, it's about doing the right thing over and over, even when no one notices. In solitude, you have no audience to impress, no one to judge your progress. That's why it's the purest form of discipline. You're not driven by praise or fear, you're driven by purpose. In private, your failures don't embarrass you, they educate you. Every mistake becomes a teacher. You begin to experiment, refine, and adjust without the pressure of being seen. That's the environment where true growth thrives, because when you're not performing for others, you can finally focus on perfecting yourself. It's in those long, quiet hours when everyone else is asleep, scrolling, or distracted that you forge your edge. It's in those unseen days that your habits solidify, your mind sharpens, and your focus deepens. No one sees the meditation before the strike, the practice before the perfection, the silence before the impact. But that's where mastery is born. Most people chase visibility. They want the world to see every move they make. They post their progress, their plans, their dreams, hoping for validation. But that constant exposure weakens the magic. Energy grows stronger in silence. The more you guard your progress, the more powerful it becomes. Not everything sacred is meant to be shared. Keep some things between you and your discipline. Let your actions, not your words, do the talking. When you build in private, your progress becomes unbreakable because it's rooted in integrity, not in attention. You're no longer driven by who's watching, you're driven by who you're becoming. You stop working to prove and start working to improve. That's when everything changes. Think of it like a seed again. You don't see the seed when it's underground. It's invisible, but alive. It's pushing through the soil, gathering strength, preparing to rise. When it finally breaks through the surface, everyone calls it growth. But the real growth happened in the darkness. That's exactly how your energy evolves. Your silence becomes your shield. It keeps your vision clear. It keeps you humble while you grow. It protects your peace from those who don't understand your journey. And one day, when your results begin to shine, people will call it sudden. But you'll know it wasn't sudden at all. It was the product of years of quiet dedication. Bruce Lee believed in the discipline of daily refinement. He said, "It's not the daily increase, but the daily decrease." Hack away at the unessential. That's what private growth is all about. Cutting away distractions, letting go of everything that doesn't serve your purpose. When you're building in silence, you're not adding more. You're removing what holds you back. You're sculpting your spirit the way a craftsman chisels stone, slowly, deliberately, until only strength remains. And then, when the time is right, your energy will speak louder than any announcement. You'll walk into a room, and people will feel something different about you. Discipline, focus, presence. You won't have to explain your journey, because your energy will tell the story. The ones who laughed while you were quiet will fall silent when they see what your solitude created. So don't rush to be seen. Let your growth mature in silence. Keep working while they doubt. Keep moving while they sleep. Keep improving while they talk. Because one day, your results will speak for you. And when they do, the world will listen. The strongest vibe is not built under lights. It's built in the shadows. It's crafted through nights of effort no one saw, through battles no one knew you fought, through patience no one believed you had. That's the kind of power that cannot be faked. It's real, raw, and magnetic. When you finally emerge, you'll understand that your silence was not wasted. It was working. Every hour you spent alone refining your focus, your body, your mind, was energy accumulating like a storm behind calm clouds. And when that storm finally releases, your presence will shake the world, not because you shouted, but because you waited, you worked, and you built yourself in peace. Remember this: the world rewards those who shine, but it respects those who build in silence. Be one of the few who understand that true mastery is not loud, it's felt. Stay hidden, stay hungry, stay consistent, and let your silence make all the noise. 7. Emerge from solitude unshakable. When you've spent enough time in solitude, truly alone with your thoughts, your fears, your flaws, and your dreams, you come out different. You're not the same person who entered that silence. The noise that used to control you, the opinions that once shook you, and the distractions that pulled you off course, they no longer have power. You have faced the battlefield within, and now the world outside can no longer defeat you. When you finally emerge from solitude, you walk with a quiet confidence that can't be faked. You no longer speak to be heard. You speak because you have something worth saying. You no longer chase recognition. You attract it through your presence. People feel your energy before you say a word. You have become unshakable, not because life stopped testing you, but because you learned how to stand still in the storm. This is what solitude does. It makes you whole. It removes the parts of you that were built for approval and replaces them with authenticity. You stop needing the world to tell you who you are because you already know. You no longer seek peace, you are peace. And when you reach this point, no insult can cut you, no rejection can break you, and no failure can define you. Because all those things lose their power when you realize that your worth was never attached to them in the first place. Bruce Lee once said, "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." Solitude gives you that kind of mastery, not over others, but over yourself. It teaches you to refine your focus, to move with purpose, and to react with calm precision no matter what comes your way. You stop fighting unnecessary battles because you've learned the art of inner victory. When you emerge from solitude, you carry an energy that feels different. You don't need to prove your value, you live it. You no longer rush because you've realized that true strength moves slowly but surely. You no longer fear losing people because you understand that what's meant for you can never be taken from you. And you no longer fear failure because you've already fallen and rebuilt yourself stronger each time. There's something sacred about walking alone for a while. It teaches you that everything you need is already within you. You learn to enjoy your own company, to find peace in silence, to laugh without an audience, and to grow without applause. This independence doesn't make you cold, it makes you free. You love without attachment, give without expectation, and live without fear. You no longer depend on the world's chaos to feel alive. And that's when your presence becomes magnetic. You stop seeking attention, but attention seeks you. You stop trying to fit in, and suddenly people are drawn to your authenticity. You don't have to explain yourself anymore. The depth in your silence says everything. You've become a walking example of peace under pressure, grace under fire, and power without aggression. Solitude also teaches you compassion, because when you face your own pain, you understand others' pain better. When you've sat in your own darkness, you stop judging people for theirs. You no longer carry bitterness, you carry understanding. You've been humbled by silence, purified by isolation, and refined by struggle. That humility becomes your strength. It allows you to move through life with balance, calm, and purpose. When you live from this place of inner mastery, your life no longer reacts, it responds. You don't resist change. You adapt like water. You don't cling to the past. You flow with the present. You don't fear the future. You trust your ability to face it. You begin to see life not as a fight, but as a dance, a constant rhythm between resistance and surrender. And that's what it means to be unshakable. It doesn't mean you stop feeling pain. It means pain can no longer control you. It doesn't mean life stops testing you. It means you've become too wise to fail the same test twice. It doesn't mean the storms end. It means you've learned to build your peace within them. When you've reached this level, solitude no longer feels like loneliness. It feels like power. You can walk through crowds and not lose yourself. You can love deeply without attachment. You can face uncertainty with calm eyes and a steady heart. You've become the kind of person whose silence carries weight, whose energy calms the room, whose peace inspires others to seek their own. So if you're still in your quiet phase right now, stay there a little longer. Don't rush to escape it. Every day you spend in that silence, you're becoming more focused, more disciplined, more aware. You're shedding the layers of who you thought you needed to be and uncovering who you truly are. Because when you finally step out of solitude, the world won't just see a person. They'll feel a force, a mind sharpened by reflection, a heart purified by patience, and a spirit that bows to no chaos. Stay alone until your energy becomes too powerful to be ignored. Stay silent until your presence speaks for you. Stay humble, stay disciplined, stay true. And when the time comes to rise, you will rise unshakable, unstoppable, and unforgettable. That's what solitude was preparing you for all along. When you walk the path of solitude, you are not walking away from the world. You're walking toward yourself. The time you spend alone is not wasted. It's sacred. It's the season where your roots grow deep, where your strength quietly builds, and where your energy purifies. People will not understand this journey at first. They'll think you're isolating yourself, that you're lost, that you've given up. But what they won't see is that you are transforming. Every moment you spend in silence is a brick in the foundation of the unshakable person you are becoming. You are shedding everything that's false friendships, false identities, false desires. You're no longer chasing what sparkles. You're cultivating what shines from within. That's the essence of true mastery. Solitude strips you bare, but it also clothes you in power. It teaches you to be enough for yourself, to draw strength from your own mind, and to find peace without needing anyone else to provide it. It shows you that success, happiness, and confidence don't come from the outside. They grow quietly inside you when you stop begging the world for validation. When you re-emerge from this season of isolation, you will notice that you walk differently, you speak differently, and you see differently. You'll no longer seek approval because you've learned to approve of yourself. You'll no longer beg for love because you've learned to be love. You'll no longer chase opportunity because opportunity will start chasing your energy. Bruce Lee lived this truth. He built himself in silence, sharpened his mind in solitude, and emerged with a presence so powerful that his energy still echoes decades later. That is the legacy of stillness, that your inner mastery outlives your physical form. So, if life has placed you in solitude right now, don't fight it, don't rush it. Let it mold you, refine you, and build you into someone who no longer bends under pressure. Stay alone until your vibe becomes too strong to ignore. Stay disciplined until your silence starts speaking for you. And stay patient until the universe reveals why it had to isolate you before it could elevate you. Because when that moment arrives, when you finally step forward from your season of silence, the world won't just notice your presence, they'll feel it. You'll move through life untouchable, calm, and unshakable, proof that solitude was never your weakness. It was your rebirth.